Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to talk about the main objectives for Xavi Hernandez within this club. I'm not necessarily going to be talking about Xavi's main objectives in terms of the titles. That is going to be something that we are going to be answering later down this season. What I do want to talk about is Xavi Hernandez's objectives for this squad. Like for example, what areas need to be improved? What needs help within this squad in order for this Barcelona to improve even further? Because we know that right now, this Barcelona squad, they are a broken team with a broken system, and I do believe that Xavi will be going into these training sessions with these players and just ask what is wrong with these players. And this is why I do say that when Xavi comes back and he returns and he has that first training session on Tuesday this week, he's going to be asking so many questions and be like, why are they moving in this way? Why is their body language like this? Why are they acting in this way? What is up with their attitude? And so Xavi does have so much work to do with this squad, because I know that this squad is not where it should be, and it's going to be taking a lot of energy and time coming from Xavi in order for him to distribute his best version of Barcelona on the field. So there are a multitude of objectives for this Barcelona squad and for Xavi to achieve. But before we go further into this video, I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app is the best football app you could find within the App Store when it comes to the latest transfer news, the daily news, anything that you do want to follow regarding your favorite player or your favorite club or your team or any international team. All of that is going to be compact within the OneFootball app. And for those of you guys who are in the UK, one of the best new features that the OneFootball app does carry, it is having La Liga highlights within the app. So if you guys do want to find any highlights regarding Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Valencia, whichever club you do desire, the OneFootball app will be having that and right inside your phone. So the link is going to be in the description box down below. By clicking that link, you guys will be able to support me and this YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated. But now let's get back into the video, and I'm going to be trimming this down to 5 different objectives, and we're going to be starting with point number 1, and that is going to be fixing the injury issues. Now I know that Xavi is not a doctor, but there are 2 reasons on why I am saying this and why I believe that Xavi could be fixing these injury issues. Point number 1, the way of training, because one of the main reasons on why these players do encounter injuries on the field, it is because they experience a certain intensity on the field that they do not experience during the training sessions. And so when they are in these games and they're playing and playing very intensely, their body is not used to whatever these players are demanding, and that is why they do get injured. It is because they were never trained to be working in that way. And then moving on to point number 2, Xavi also wants to bring in his own doctor, and it does say here, according to reports, Xavi would like to bring back Dr. Ricard Bruna to the club, but he is currently working at a different club. Matteo Alemany and Xavi have already spoken about the club's medical services and how steps must be taken to address this issue immediately. In addition, those close to the players believe there is a poor physical preparation, which was exactly what we have been talking about in this video. Xavi Hernandez does notice what's currently wrong with these players physically. He knows that there are many injuries. As a matter of fact, if we name the injuries right now that we have experienced this season, Araujo has been injured, Mingueza has been injured, Piquet, Alba, Balde, Dest, Nico, Frankie, Pedri, Sergio Roberto, Ansu Fati, Dembele, Kun Agüero, Braithwaite, Eric Garcia, they have all been injured in this season. Some have returned, but the majority of these players have suffered injuries and are currently suffering injuries. Like for example, Nico Gonzalez. I'm going to just say that he is suffering an injury because right now he is fatigued. He is not injured, but the fact that he's fatigued, the fact that his body is not ready for this type of intensity during the matches, the fact that he had to ask to be subbed out, it is because this club has not physically prepared Nico Gonzalez well to be able to last 90 minutes. So Pedri is also currently injured, Sergio Roberto is injured, Ansu Fati is currently injured, Dembele is injured, Garcia is injured, and Martin Braithwaite is also currently injured. And the worst thing from all of this is that many of these players, like for example Dembele, Ansu, and Pedri, they have actually returned recently, but they have gotten re-injured only because the medical staff thought that they were ready, but they were not, and that is why they continue to come back and then get injured about 1 to 2 games later. So if Xavi really wants to maximize this Barcelona squad and really get the best from these players, they have to be available first, and bringing in better physical preparation for these players is going to be very ideal for this squad. Now moving on towards the second objective, which is going to be having a better organized defense. There are many teams within La Liga that are very comfortable on counter-attacking Barcelona and are actually succeeding on counter-attacking Barcelona, because most of the time we do see those teams score a goal on Barcelona, right? Because right now this defensive line that we have, whoever it may be, they're not being taught well. They leave spaces behind. They're not aware of any runner that's making runs on the right flank, left flank, or in the middle of the pitch. We have even seen players comfortably just run through the middle of this defensive line. Like for example, in that match between Barcelona and Alaves, there was a player that went straight into the middle of the defensive line and he scored a goal very easy. And the players that we saw, like Gerard Piqué, Frenkie de Jong, Busquets, they all looked very stagnant and they looked very afraid on actually bringing in some sort of physical presence against that player. Like no one touched him and he ran in there like if no one was there. We need a defensive line that's well standing, a defensive line that's ready to run when necessary, and a defensive line that would be able to switch play when necessary. And the only defensive line that we could think of that can actually do this and what Xavi could be demanding in the future, it's going to be a defensive line of Dest on the right, Araujo in the middle, Garcia in the middle, and Alejandro Balde on the left. There's also been reports about Xavi wanting a fast center back, and one of those fast center backs could be Koundé. And so this current Barcelona that we do have right now, they have no idea on how to defend, which is the reason on why we have been suffering in the past 10 to 12 games. And even if we use a 4-4-2 formation and we're defending with 4 defenders and 4 midfielders, the opposition still gets through the Barcelona defense very easily. And so it does not really matter how many players you have at the back. What matters is that you need to know exactly where to position yourself and be very well aware of the players around you. Then you can defend well. If you want to actually pull off a 4-4-2 formation, at least do it correctly. But right now, Barcelona have no idea on how to defend. Or sometimes we do see Barcelona trying to press one of the players in the middle of the pitch, and then they end up having an area that's not covered. And that is where Barcelona do end up losing. They end up suffering defensively, and Xavi's going to have to really try to communicate to these players on how to defend, what areas to cover, when to pressure, when to switch the ball, and many other things. Now moving on towards objective number 3, which is going to be the emergence of Ansu Fati and Dembélé. This is going to be something that Xavi is going to have to really work on. It's going to be very important for Barcelona if they want to succeed this season, and we want to see this duo between Ansu and Dembélé actually come into real life. Like we want to see this actually happen and actually work and bring results for Barcelona, because look, when we talk about Ansu Fati's career, he has shown why he is the most important player for Barcelona. He is someone that if Barcelona cannot find solutions, Ansu Fati would be that solution in order to get things done. Because if we were to look at that goal that Ansu Fati has scored against Celta, that was not something that Ansu Fati was taught by the coach. That was something that came through his talent. It was in his nature to be scoring in that way, because many of us did not even see that goal coming. Ansu Fati just sees what we could not see. As for Dembélé, now we know that Dembélé has not had the best start compared to Ansu Fati, but every time Dembélé is on the pitch, he is someone that can provide the difference, and that difference is very noticeable. He has shown that he can be someone that is impossible to mark. He is probably the only player within this squad that can go at full speed and still dribble the ball moving forward. Now, I have said before that when it comes to Ansu and Dembélé, and every time we do compare them, they're very different wingers. When it comes to Dembélé, he is someone that you would want to lay the pass into space in order for him to run to that space and take on the ball. As for Ansu Fati, he is a completely different winger. He is someone that is asking for the ball to his feet. He's not necessarily someone that you want to lay off a pass in the space only for Ansu Fati to run to that space and receive the ball. Ansu Fati is someone that wants the ball immediately to his feet, and those things bring different outcomes. Like for example, for Dembélé, what I have just explained, he is someone that wants to continue the attack, be that connection towards the beginning of the attack and the end of the attack. He wants to bring those two together. That is what he does. Ansu Fati is someone that wants to end the attack, so not necessarily connect the beginning phase and the ending phase of the attack, but he is someone that wants to end it. He wants to end it with a goal. And Xavi Hernandez knows that he needs that. He needs this in Barcelona in order for Barcelona to be a very lethal Barcelona. And the only way Xavi can do that is by training these players well, having these players, Ansu and Dembélé, very physically prepared, and basically reteach Dembélé on how to be a proper winger at Barcelona. Because that is what we have been seeing in the past 2 or 3 days. There has been many reports on Xavi Hernandez's desire to reteach Dembélé what it's like to actually be a successful winger in Barcelona. Now moving on towards objective number 4, and that is going to be the mentality of these players. Now this is going to be the most obvious one, because yesterday was actually another example on why Barcelona's mentality is just not there. Like the fact that Barcelona were winning 3-0 going into the second half and then lost that 3-0 lead against Celta, and they ended 3-3. It just showed that Celta had more confidence. It showed that Barcelona did not have the necessary confidence in order to finish this game. Celta believed in this game that they could come back. Barcelona did not react, not even once. As a matter of fact, Barcelona were very scared of Celta's attack, and they did not know what to do next. And one of the main reasons on why Barcelona are like this today, it is because of what what they have been taught in the past 2 years. Like Koeman, Valverde, these two coaches here, they were the ones that made these players believe that they cannot do anymore, that this is what it is, that we cannot improve even further. These players believe that they cannot be maximized. They believe that they have already reached their ceilings. And so this is a team right now that does have the exact same tendencies of the Barcelona that showed up against Liverpool and lost 4-0, of the Barcelona that showed up against Bayern and lost 8-2, or the Barcelona that lost the lead against Roma. And it is going to be up to Xavi Hernandez to decide, look, this is what we're going to be doing, this is how we're going to be playing, we need to stand by this because this is going to be the only way we can actually bring back our mentality into this club, to have a strong mentality. The only way you could actually believe that you could win is by actually standing for something. What does Barcelona stand for? Barcelona stands for a team that dominates possession, dictates play, fast transitions, and let me tell you, if you do not implement any of these things towards this Barcelona is going to be nothing. Like, Barcelona is nothing without these type of principles, and Xavi does know this. If Xavi can implement these things back into this club, we will actually be something. We would actually get very far. It is, like I have always said, having an identity within this club, because in the past 2 years, 3 years, Barcelona had no idea what they were, who they are, and how they should be acting against the oppositions. And Xavi Hernandez is the perfect man to lead that charge. And now moving on towards the last objective, which is going to be objective number 5, and that is going to be a very effective midfield. Now, right now we are in a very strange situation because we have players that are emerging that we know are very talented, but we need to know what their roles are going to be. Like, who is going to be a starter? Who is the one that's going to be on the bench? Who is going to be the first player that's going to be replacing one of the starters if they get injured, right? We are in that gray area where we do not know who is going to be starting. Like, for example, under Luis Enrique, we knew that Rakitic, Busquets, and Iniesta were going to be the starters. We knew that Xavi was going to be the main guy that's going to be rotating between Iniesta or Rakitic or Busquets. As for Pep Guardiola, we knew that their set midfield was Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta, with Keita or Fabregas always rotating between these players. And as of today, under Xavi Hernandez, we do not know who is going to be that official starting midfield. As a matter of fact, right now, there are conversations on whether Nico Gonzalez should be starting in the midfield, because right now, I think that our best bet would be having a starting midfield of Busquets, Pedri, and Frankie, but is that really it? Because if you look at the way that Nico has been playing or Gavi has been playing, should we change that midfield? And that is something that Xavi is going to have to decide in the future, and very, very soon. As a matter of fact, he's going to have to choose the best midfield that can be creative, that can cover spaces, that can be very physical, that can take away the ball away from you and hide the ball and retain the ball 90% of the time throughout the game. So I don't know, could it be Nico, Busquets, and Frankie de Jong as the main midfield under Xavi Hernandez? Could it be Frankie, Nico, Pedri as the main midfield under Xavi Hernandez? Or could it be something very different? Maybe it could be Gavi, Pedri, and Riqui Puig as the starting midfield under Xavi Hernandez. Who knows? But there are so many answers, so many solutions, so many ways you could execute this. I have no idea what Xavi's going to want from his midfield. Only time is going to be telling. But again, the only way you could have an effective midfield is by having players that know their roles, that know exactly what to do and what to bring on the pitch. Then you would really have something, and then Xavi would really have a very dominant Barcelona on the field and in Europe. But those are going to be the 5 objectives that Xavi Hernandez is going to have to take care of for this specific season. Let me know if I did miss any objectives. What would you guys like to add in within this list? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.